Happy New Year to you. Thank you so much for a fabulous 2022 and for continuing this journey with us in 2023. This is USA Global TV and Radio. You soon will be seeing our new logo on all of our content, as well as our new introduction, our new music. It's very exciting. Here we are celebrating you, our wonderful audience, whether you're watching or listening on the live or on the replay, and we look forward to sharing your story. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. I'm the president, founder, and chief listening officer here at our network. And our show today is the Mallorca Connection. And it's interesting because the star of our show was on Mallorca, but is traveling around Europe in his motorhome. So we're excited to find out where he is today. His name is ROLAND FRIEDL, and he's invited an incredible person as a guest for today. We're going to hear his story as well. ROLAND is a big part of our platform here. And part of the reason that I say that is he's been a great mentor to me. And he came up with the idea of starting his own show, moderating his own show, and pretty much anything he asks me for, I say, okay, let's go for it, because he truly is a professional person. And he's an extraordinary businessman as well. He calls himself a entrepreneur. He is not only a TV and radio show host here, as I mentioned, he has his own program, which is Wild at Heart. It's a show for men, by men, about men. And he also has a show called The Earth Show, which will be coming back next week. Let's welcome him. He's one of our expert presenters on Talking Heads, and he's also an elevated listener here at our platform. Come on out, ROLAND. Nice to see you.
Hello, Dr. Jacalyn. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Good to see you again.
Thank you. Happy New Year to you as well. Where in the world are you today, ROLAND?
I'm in Portugal, in the southern Algarve, and actually I checked in yesterday. Well, normally, I always stay in the wild and free, but I checked in on a 4-star camping resort. It's not camping anymore; it's just clamping. It's very like it's currently clamping. It's an amazing resort here, but I came here because I started a 2 weeks fasting. And I wanted a safe place. I wanted a gym, a spa where I can go to sauna, where I can enjoy some treatments here from the therapist. So that's the reason why I'm here in this resort right now.
And I saw some of your pictures on Facebook. It looks tremendous. Now, just share a little bit, because I know we're going to be talking about spas and self-care and really taking this opportunity in the new year to connect with ourselves and find out who we are and use some tools to really do that. You mentioned a water fast. Is this something that you're going to be on for an extended period of time, or are you doing it day by day?
Well, actually, my original plan was to do it for 40 days. But as there is no doctor here that I trust, because 40 days you need a medical doctor on your side, 40 days water fasting. So I'm going for 10 days. That's a good period of time without taking any risk. So I go for 10 days in water fasting, and then slowly going up with soup and stuff like that. And yeah, I do it for 10 days.
So 10 days. Only water.
Yes, only water. It's a teacup, but it's only water in. Yes, it's only water.
My goodness! And what is your ultimate goal?
It's not about weight losing, nothing about that at all. It's just about detoxing, cleansing, detoxing myself, and give the body a chance to reset a little bit his digestion system, and then starting up slowly. It's just, it's, to be honest, it was not a plan. I didn't plan it for this, because I never make this, 1st of January, everything changes. I don't smoke. I don't know. Well, I smoke anyway, but I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't do whatever. No, that's not about me. It just was, a short time decision, because friends of mine, they're here. They also live in a motorhome. It's a young family with kids. Maybe you remember this photograph I showed when I was cooking in France for them. So we met here again. And so that's the reason why I came here. And then I said, oh, wow, this is totally equipped with a large gym with an amazing spa area and everything. Hey, this is the sign. Let's do fasting and detoxing. Yeah, that's
it's great you have people to do it with. So we'll wish you the best of luck, and I'll check in with you. Let's hear a little bit about our guests, how you and our guest met, and a little bit about his background.
Yeah, well, actually, I met Dmitry here on my trip in Portugal. Funny thing is, a common friend of us, Chan Christian, we went in my motorhome to Benagil to see a guy he knows, a Dutch guy who organizes come together, working together. So he's renting houses. People come from different parts of the world, stay there, work together. It's yeah, it's a nice community. So we went there for 2 days, and yeah, I get in contact with one of these guys, with Dmitry, and it was very interesting. He taught me some stuff how to communicate much better with my clients on digital systems, stuff like that. So it was really interesting. And so we connected. He sent me his website. I checked his website. I said, "Hey, let's bring him on the show. He's doing an amazing stuff. He has an amazing knowledge, and I think we should spread this to a broader audience." That's why I'm inviting him. He's from the Ukraine, but I know that his base is in Portugal for the next weeks. Or yeah, interesting, very lovely person.
Fantastic. Well, let's welcome Dmitry to the show and hear what he is up to. Hi, Dmitry.
Hi, Dr. Jacalyn, Roland.
Hi, Dmitry. Hi, man. Great to see you again.
Yeah, likewise. All good.
Thank you so much for being on this show. Dmitry, you have next to your name, for people who are listening on the radio or a podcast, Life Script Doctor. Can you explain what that means and the significance?
Sure. I guess after 2012 or 2013, when I started my own online project, I had to come out with a name. And at that time, I was interested in writing scripts, and I went to a script doctor workshop, and then it kind of put together as Life Script Doctor, because script doctor is a profession. It's not a script editor or a consultant. It's more about how do you make a good script. And with the knowledge that I've been studying at that time and kind of continuing on that path of awakening consciousness and related fields, it resonated to call the project Life Script Doctor, to help people improve their writing of their life script that they do every day.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Dmitry, tell our audience a little bit about your background. I know you are from the Ukraine. You're born in Ukraine, but at the time you've been born, it was still Russia. And then you had the amazing chance to go to the US and study. And tell a little bit about your background.
Sure. Well, actually, the country that I was born doesn't exist because it was still Soviet Union. And yeah, it's pretty normal, I guess, pretty normal childhood for a Soviet kid. And I was an exchange student going to US, and then on and on. I had about several trips and spent about 3 years in US in different areas, in Georgia and Colorado, and even in Vegas, in Nevada area as well. And that's actually how that's the reason why I speak the English the way I do. My journey, though, because what we're going to talk about today is the ancient knowledge from Ukraine. But my journey, let's say, to spirituality, to the spiritual world and awakening consciousness began from a crisis in 2008. And I discovered new spiritual science, Infosomatics, which was developed in St. Petersburg, which offers a lot of powerful visualization techniques, meditation, and that's where I also learned about, let's say, somewhat different approach to numerology, as in a more practical way, where you can look at a person's potential, not just as a person, but you can also see it as a team, in a family, or in a business team that can help you really see the energy dynamics within a certain group of people. So you can literally see how to improve it in many different ways. But then I still continued in 2013, that's when I started the Life Script Doctor project, when I, the path between the Infosomatics and my kind of departed for some reasons. And that's when I started the Life Script Doctor and continued my research in the field of awakening consciousness. I was invited to a mystical school in Kiev, Ukraine, that shares knowledge about Cossacks Harakterniki and their spiritual science or tradition that is called spas. And spas itself, as the word, there are many different variations of how to describe it or define it. One of the, like, let's say, general accepted ways, spas comes from spasat, which means to save. So in other words, this tradition helps you to save you from this boring life on this planet, because you start to see things on a very different level, on the energy level, in many different ways. And I still continue my research, doing live workshops across Europe at the moment. I did events in Berlin, in Netherlands, in Portugal. So it's just starting to bring this knowledge to the West in a way.
Okay, so when you talk about spas, is this a methodology, a technology? What is it?
It's the idea of seeing the person in the universe and the universe inside the person. You can say it's a spiritual science or a tradition that helps to bring out what we still call supernatural abilities, but actually, let's say they're more natural than supernatural. And it shares and teaches people, or like to awakens, I guess is a better word, how to see energy, how to see aura of another person, how to be able to protect your energy, how you're able to balance your energy, how to clear your energy, how to have the energy throughout the day, and how to really understand the interaction on those levels. Then you also get connected to, let's say, the power of the elements themselves, not just the essence or the energy of them, so you can also again see the world in a much different perspective. And then the third level of spas, which there are several levels that I share, is related to connecting people to their ancestry line, which is, from my practice and from my observation, is probably the most powerful energy protection system that any person can have. So that is just in short what spas is about.
Thank you, Dmitry. I'm wondering if you could share with our viewers and our listeners, for the three of us here, I think we understand what it means to be awakened, or what awakened consciousness is, but not everybody understands that. We understand the 5D world and the 3D world. Is there any way that you could just make it simple for people? What does it mean to be awakened, or to have awakened consciousness?
The most simple way is to see world as magic. And if you look at the word itself, the word magic, the roots or the root of the word itself comes from Proto-Indo-European languages, and it literally means to be able to. So in that sense, we're all magicians. And the beauty of realizing that there are 3D, 4D, 5D, and so on realities is how much magic can you bring to this life. So in that simplified way, I see spas also as this science of magic in life, or how to be a human on a cosmic scale.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, sometimes people believe that being awakened is something superstitious. It's just to be in the very present moment, to enjoy life, to see the beauty, to be connected.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's not about, again, it is present moment, because it's not about being stuck in the past or living too far into the future, because then you literally start to lose energy. You're stuck in, it's like, oh, and over analyzing what was happening to me, or why it was happening to me, why all of this. You literally losing energy. And if you go too much into the future, it's like, well, how it's gonna go, how it's gonna be. You also lose energy, and you're only really able to bring this magic to life through the point of, well, what we call now is through the present moment, or through the point of here and now. And again, with spas, there are many powerful techniques of how you can, in a way, train yourself. How does it feel to be in the present moment?
Mm-hmm. Before we go deeper in the technique, Dmitry, okay, awakening, I guess people got it. Consciousness. There's another term I guess we should explain a little bit, because especially in our Western world, we are very materialistic. We are very visual. Whatever we see, what is attractive. Can you tell us a little bit about energy fields, because most people don't get it. Why it's important and understand it, what it is, and why it's important to protect it.
Well, think of it like this: anything in our life that we can experience comes from a certain potential. And for that potential, for us to experience it, it has to go through a certain energy field, and only then becomes the material reality. So the real thing of what do we want to achieve in life is actually depends on the energy level. So the ability of a person to tap into the energetic or energy informational field allows to make better decisions, stay healthy, find people as partners or for business, or again magic. So the consciousness itself, it's understanding that there is more than just our physical reality, and that the energy informational reality is actually the source of what we can experience in the material reality itself. So I hope that kind of helps to give a short description of it is, because describing consciousness itself can take hours and hours.
Yes, thank you, Dmitry. Something else I just want to have you speak a little bit on is the term magic. So when we think about traditional magic tricks, making things disappear, making things appear, how would you say that the magic you're speaking of works, or has anything in common with things disappearing or appearing?
Well, the things with things disappearing or appearing, that's performance magic, and that's kind of also one of the reasons it's like in a way a fake way for us as humanity to see magic as not real, as just the tricks or the sleight of hand or a certain illusion, as to like with mirrors or something like that. The magic that I'm talking about is and there is the ability of a person to change the consciousness according to their will, meaning that you direct your intention towards achieving something and you achieve it. Or another very good definition of magic is the ability of a person to create events that others may perceive to be accidents or accidents. So it's kind of that's the real magic.
For some people, it might sound a little bit voodoo, but I know exactly what you're talking about, because I do a lot of meditation and visualizing my future, visualizing and also manifesting what I want to achieve in life, or do in life, or be in life. Can you talk a little bit about visualization and how SPARS helps people to visualize and manifest a magic future for themselves?
Well, sure. Well, as to, again, there are many different exercises to tap into energy and to tap into understanding of how all these like magical things, as we call, work. As to visualizations, it's literally it's one of the ways that we communicate with the energy informational field or the potential. We use, let's say, certain languages, right? But the ultimate language that brings out the way to communicate with the, well, let's call it universe, is actually visualization. And the symbols that we use is also one of the ways to communicate with the field or with the universe. So there are exercises to, you might actually know, for example, it used to be very popular in the 90s, I remember. There are so-called magic eye or stereograms, where you look at the 2D picture, and then if you look at it in a certain way, then this picture becomes 3D. And interestingly enough, I mean, you can literally just, if you type in magic eye, you will find the reference, and you might even remember back in the day when you had it. I'm not sure how it was in the West, but like for us, even in the 90s, we had those pictures on the back of the notebooks, and everybody was kind of even competing. It's like, oh, can you see it? Some people could, some people couldn't. But the thing is, when you do and practice it, it kind of shows you the magic in a way, or the interesting parts of how your not just sight but your vision works, because your sight is simply the physical process of how you see things through your eyes, through your retina in your eyes. But the vision is actually how your brain can interpret what you see. So through that, through the ability to visualize what you want to achieve, and when you do it correctly, you following certain laws of the universe, then you can actually, yes, you can literally achieve or manifest your wishes, taken into account as long as they are true wishes, because there's still some guidelines in that area as well.
And when you speak about vision, for people who have heard this term but they're not sure what it is, when we think about the third eye, how does the third eye fall into this whole conscious awakening?
Well, the third eye is often referred to pineal gland, which is a part of the human brain, or the seed of the soul, according to many researchers. And they still actually don't know the real function of the pineal gland. But that's, well, there are many theories about it, but there's no still full understanding of how it all works or how it all connects. But the third eye, or again, is the pineal gland, is what kind of literally connects us to the higher dimensions, to the levels of higher consciousness, to the universal forces, and helps us to really, in very simple terms, it helps us to connect to our higher selves or our true selves. And the idea of a true self is literally, like your true self knows what makes you happy in life. And if you have a connection to your true self, it can lead you and guide you on what you need to do at the moment to reach, to be really, like, truly happy, no matter what is happening. And when it comes to spas, it's a more on hands and practical things, and when it comes to the work with energy. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sounds simple but not easy.
Yes, simple but not easy. Exactly.
Okay, let's dig a little bit deeper in this, in this ancient Ukrainian tradition of spas. So what is this exactly? Where's it coming from? What's the outcome? What is needed?
Okay, so as I said before, spas most likely comes from the word, or the meaning of the word spasat, which means to save. However, there are also other ways to look at the word itself. Some say that it was the name of an ancient magician who uh, got the tribe out of the dark forest into the field of abundance. And spas is, let's say, the abilities or the mystical knowledge that is referred to Cossacks. Well, actually, particular Cossacks. If you know the history, on the territory of Ukraine in 16th, 17th century, there lived Cossacks, and they lived in semi-military communities. They allegedly had one of the first constitutions because they elected their leaders. They would literally just fight everybody. I mean, they would fight against Russia, against Turkey, against Poland, and protected the territory of what mainly now what we know in Ukraine. And actually, it's also interesting to observe that most of the things that are happening, unfortunately, today, is the territory where Cossacks were protecting this territory in many ways, even for for, let's say, the forces from the east reaching the Europe in a way. And among the Cossacks, they were so-called Cossacks Harakterniki, which also a very interesting word, because Charakter means like a strong will, a strong character. But if you go deeper into the word itself and the origin of the word, then you can actually find the roots of Ha and Ra. And Ra means the light, and Ha means the force. So Harakternik is a Cossack who can direct or has the power of the light. And Harakterniki, they allegedly had so-called magic powers. They were able to control the weather, played mind tricks with the enemy, foretell the outcome of battles, turn into animals, and many, even like historically recorded events that let's say, not that known in that sense. And so that knowledge, when Catherine the Great, when she destroyed the fortress where the Cossacks were, I think it was the 17th century, then that knowledge went into the hiding, and most of that knowledge was passed through within the family, and the knowledge pretty much contains everything related to energy and magic. It would be herbs or healing, and being able again to really stand true in your power, how to clear the energy, how to, let's say, what other people would say, the curses or the evil eyes, in a way, which is also interesting because, like, for when I live in Ukraine, and actually in most post-Soviet countries, the word magic is actually, it's like life in a way. I mean, my guess is actually quite maybe similar to South America, and like even in Kiev, in one of the main metro stations, when you go down, you can see like these big posters of this guy who's like, I'm a magician, I remove curses, hexes, and here's my email, here's my website. And it's kind of like a common thing. So it becomes this, the tradition brings out, like, let's say, again, the supernatural abilities of a person. And through spas, a person can awake what we all are able to do, and what we as of now call supernatural. But for example, all the kids, they can see aura or the energy of other people, and they can sense it, and actually that's how they see the world. But when we grow up, usually we just kind of block ourselves because, well, that's not that common that people start talking, what color are you today? And this knowledge is being blocked in a way, for people to really become free and independent. Because, like, even if you can see like the symbol, or you probably see it on TV, it's also a very interesting symbol, and there are many different ways to interpret it. One of the ways is there's an embedded word in this symbol, and the word is vola. And vola, the way I describe it, it means freedom within your own responsibility, which also, actually, vola also stands for willpower. But it provides you this, like, yes, you are free to do whatever you want, but whatever you do, you'll be responsible for it. So in spas as well, you will get in your life only what is yours, not more and not less. And there are many, again, it's and the things that I do, they cannot be even done online, because there has to be, the knowledge is alive. The knowledge has to be passed from a person to a person, and that's how all these things work.
Right? I can imagine, Dmitry, that what you're talking about is like in other cultures, through the shamanic cultures, that mainly elites, regimes, representatives of different religions, they're not very happy about this, that people are awakened, consciousness, free and independent beings, no?
Yeah. Well, exactly.
So
I mean, that's yeah.
Hello?
Were you going to elaborate? Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Well, it's the thing about, of course, if it's when it comes to controlling the masses of people, nobody wants people to be independent and to have the mind of their own. And again, with spas, is actually when you truly embrace the tradition, and you understand how it works, and your true self, and start practicing it, it's pretty much impossible to control you, even with such scary words as like psychic weaponry, or things like that, or things that are used certain frequencies to control the masses of people, because you build up your own energetic immune system. You connect, let's say, you connect directly to the source in a certain way, and you start to have a different relationship with divine, or what we call God. And I'll give you an example. Like Cossacks, like used to say, which were actually interesting because they were quite religious in a way. But for them, magic and religion did not really was kind of the kind of a combination of religion, of Christianity, and let's say the old magic traditions. And they used to say, for example, like, God, please help me achieve this and this, because if you're not going to help me, I'm going to just do it myself. And the relationship with the divine was also as of a child with a parent. And the child always knew, as we are as humans, as children, we always knew that sooner or later we will reach that level of the parent. So we kind of need to correspond to it and start taking responsibility first for our own lives, and only through that and from that start taking responsibility for others. As one of the saints once said, save yourself so thousands around you can be saved. Roland?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
I have a follow-up question. I know this is not a conspiracy. There's a lot of energy sent out by some people who have an interest in to manipulate the masses. We have 4G, we have 5G. The other stuff is coming. So a lot of people give me feedback when I talk to them. Yeah, I feel very fatigued, tired. I don't feel good because they can feel this energy that is sent. So let's talk a little bit about, not about the negative aspect. I want to focus on the positive one. How can we protect our own energy?
The way I see it, it's actually, and I see it as one of my kind of goals in a way to share this knowledge, is connecting the ancient knowledge and adapting it to the, let's say, the modern way of using of dealing with things. And the reason, as you were saying, when some people experience certain difficulties with, like, 4G, 5G, all that is actually literally means is that their energetic or energy informational system is not as strong as, let's say, the outside force. And there's one interesting saying, we are hit in life not because we did something wrong, but so that we can do something about it. Or in other words, in a more common way, whatever doesn't kill us makes us stronger. So when it comes to all these influences, yes, they do influence for sure our energy bodies, but it also makes us actually grow and makes us awake, because otherwise we will not be able to function in this the frequency of the world that we're experiencing right now. And that's why the practical knowledge of an understanding on sensing the energy and understanding how it really works, and being able to clear, protect, and boost your energy whenever you need it, using various tools. For, like, meditations, or some people use breath work. For example, there's little various techniques with, for example, candles, with spas as well. There are, like, practical exercises that they can learn. One other tool that I work with is ancient symbols like runes and glyphs and sigils, which also have, like, they are the part of the graphic magic, and they can also bring a lot of energy because they serve as keys to certain energies. So the thing is, yes, we are being bombarded with all this, let's say, negative energy from the outside, but that's the goal for us, is to kind of stand up and to be able to build our immune system so we can withstand it and actually go much higher.
Thank you, Dmitry. I'm wondering, for our audience who's really interested in finding out more, you have live and online workshops. You also have coaching. What can someone expect if they're a novice? This is not something that they've really embraced before, but they're interested, they're curious, and they want to learn.
Well, again, as you already mentioned, there are, like, two directions. The online is more, um, let's figure out what's happening. For example, using numerology and many other diagnosis tools, because everything starts with diagnosis. Or, as I say, what is the first thing you need to do when you find yourself in a hole? You have to stop digging. So when you stop digging, you actually figure out and see what's happening, and then you start building a ladder to get out of that hole. And there are many variations, many different techniques to use, some meditation, some visualization techniques, some combinations of things. So if anybody's interested, again, there are contacts on the LiveScript Doctor website. There's also a lot of free information available. There's like a YouTube channel with a lot of information about levels of higher consciousness and numerology and 7-year cycles and so on and so on. There are many articles that were published in Wake Up World and Learning Mind and many other online blogs in that way. And the other part that I work with is in-person workshops, because as I mentioned, this kind of knowledge can only be passed through person to person, because there's like, I cannot activate channels of a person through the screen because it just wouldn't make sense, even though I know some people do it, but that's it's a live knowledge. It's kind of like when the bee finds when the bee in the beehive, when the bee finds a field of flowers that is very abundant, it flies back to the beehive. And if you ever saw a beehive, you might see the bees kind of dancing in front of the beehive. So that bee is kind of showing through the vibration or the road that bee took and where the field lies. So that's kind of my job in a way to resonate on that level and invite people to discover themselves, discover their true self, their supernatural. And these things can, like, the quality is much better when it's done live in person. And that's why, like, in the moment, I'm planning events in Portugal, possibly also in Switzerland, where I am right now, also working on a consciousness awakening projects, because there's a lot of things to do, and that's it's just kind of, yeah, it's just we just need to do our job. That's very simple in a way. Well, yeah, simple but not easy. But when there are tools that can help you do it, then it's the smooth, fun as well, right?
Yeah, you're not alone. There's somebody like you to guide them. And I'm actually going to bring up your website, if that's okay.
Sure, sure.
Okay, let's take a look, and then you can walk us through what to see here. Okay, so I'm over on your website. Where should I go?
Well, again, first, actually, if you browse all the way down, you'll see a free webinar. If you want to read more about my journey, you can go into the about. Then there are services that I offer, which I also actually can be seen here. You have the personal guidance. There's a webinar course that I'm planning to relaunch based on like a combination, but in short, it's based on the temple in Myanmar of fulfilling wishes. So there are 4 parts of it, and guiding people to first to really, again, to find out what their true wishes are, and so then giving them the tools of how they can manifest it. But but kind of to step away from, you know, the secret and the uh, law of attraction, because there's a lot more to all these things, and you really have to understand how these things work and know why certain things happen and why they don't. And then live workshops, these are mainly the spas workshops on the first level is aura vision. So you learn how to see auras, you learn to see energy, how to work with it, to get a toolbox of exercises and many other things. The second level, as I mentioned, is connected to elements, and then the third is more about ancestry. But it's just in very short description. Then there are visualization techniques that you can check. There's also a thing like a variation. There are 3 of them available on the website, and a kind of explanation of how they work. And then there are articles that were posted on some other sources, but also some exclusively only on my website. And yeah, I can like see the logos of the places where they were posted before. So, well, what you can find on the LiveScript Doctor website, I would say that's a lot of it is actually comes from Infosomatics, and then which is also very interesting science as well, and I still use it in my practice, um, from time to time, depending on the workshops. And then, of course, yeah, if you're interested in this stuff, there's a contact that you can simply reach out with me. I'm happy to to answer them and get back to you in any way possible.
Okay, fantastic. Let's just look at the services again. Personal guidance. And here are the offers.
Yep.
You can sign up right there. Life Script Online Practice. And for people on the radio or podcast, from physics to magic of manifesting your full potential. Energy informational
then
field.
Yes, you have all this description of.
Lots of ways to assist people. Okay, anything else you want to show on the website?
No, I think that's pretty much covers it.
Okay.
Well,
All right,
of course,
thank you.
there's a lot of new stuff coming, but that's, Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah. Roland.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Dmitry. It was really, I was digging a lot in your website, and I love all the stuff you're doing, because I also know that you have a research background, so you have a scientific research background, it's scientific based, it's research based, and it's a nice combination of that research and some people said it's research and science, the other one says ancient. Now for me it's not this or that, it's just a combination of both of that, because there's so much knowledge out there, absolutely, and we can learn from the ancestors. And I'm learning Sanskrit, and I'm diving very deep into the Bhagavad Gita, and I know there's so much knowledge, but for some reasons, because of some people didn't want that people know it and share it and experience it. But we have to bring this up again to empower the people to have a really joyful, happy life. And I mean happy, I don't mean just consuming, but meaning really happy, fulfilled, and happy. That's what I want. Well, thank you so much, Dmitry. Thank you so much, Dmitry, for sharing that. And we stay in contact. I also want to learn more from you, for sure, because I always love to learn. And I hope for our audience was very interesting. And I really can encourage people, get in contact with Dmitry. You can really learn a lot about yourself, and especially about what's more to come for you.
Yes, thank you. Well, I'm glad to be the part of, and thank you for the invitation as well.
Thank you, Dmitry. I learned a lot from you, and I really appreciate it. And I hope that you continue doing this work and helping more people, and come back and see us again.
Sounds great. I'll be happy to.
All right. Thank you again. Bye for now.
Bye to Switzerland.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, fabulous, Roland. Thank you so much for bringing Dmitry to the platform. And as I always say to our audience, our guests, our team are here to help you. So contact them, reach out. Dmitry's information is here. Go to his website, lifescriptdoctor.com. All right, Roland, you have your show coming up. Tell our audience a little bit about it, and then how they can work with you.
Yes. So actually in a few minutes, we're starting the next show. It's the Wild at Heart show. It's a show for men, by men, about men. It's just we are some guys from different parts of the world with different backgrounds. We're discussing every Wednesday, men's topics. It's always a lot of fun. And actually today we are talking about New Year's resolutions. Do we keep them? How we forget them? I don't know, maybe they last until the 2nd of January or the 4th of January, 6th. So it's about New Year's resolution. So when you made a New Year's resolution, maybe you failed or maybe you succeeded, let us know, get in contact with us. Stay tuned on the Wild at Heart show. And as Dr. Jacalyn mentioned in the beginning of the show, next week we're also going to continue with the Earth show again, together with my nice my dear partner is a Polish biologist, environmental specialist on the Earth show together. So that's all about it. Well, that's what I'm doing here on USA Global TV and radio, and actually my main job, or my main profession, or whatever you want to call it. As you know, guys, I'm very passionate about what I'm doing with the men's work. I really love it. I dig very in it. I love very much the environmental. My foundation is growing and growing and growing. That's what we're doing. but of course I have a normal, some people call it a serious job, this modern world. So I run a business consulting company in Switzerland since more than 2.5 decades, very successfully all over the world. We consult, coach, train multinational companies worldwide. So if you want to get in contact with me, I always say go to my so-called main website. I have many websites out because we have so many business branches, but go to my website, rolandfriedl.com. From there you can link to SPS. This is the business website. You can go to Wireless Life Rocks, which is the coaching website for people who want to be more free and independent, and also on them there's another link for the men stuff. So it's my name, Roland Friedl. I will spell it for you guys on a podcast or on a radio station. It's ROLAND.FRIEDL.com, rolandfriedl.com. It's available. All my websites are available in English and in German. Thank you so much, and see you at the next show. And Dr. Jacalyn, thank you so much. And I guess we're gonna continue our journey with the success with last year in 2023.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. And I thank you for all of your hard work, Roland, all of your mentoring, and all of your professionalism.
It's an honor and a pleasure. Thank you, and see you later.
Thanks. Bye, everyone. We're leaving for now, and Roland and his team will be right back after this. Take care. Bye.